Okay, so let's start. We will be going over expansion candles versus candles with large wick, and let's get into it. What an expansion candle looks like is like this. I have taken only bullish example OLHC candles. You can assume this as vice versa situation for OHLC or down close bearish candle. I have only taken bullish example in this case. This is how a bullish expansion candle looks like. This is how a bullish candle with large wick looks like. Both are participatable, but there is specific framework for it. How I do personally participate in that, it, it is what being taught in this lesson. Now, expansion candles have small opposing run, small wick on the high time frame candle, and large wick, as name suggests. Large wick candles have large opposing run or large wick on the high time frame candle. They make large opposing run. Expansion candles make less opposing run and more often body. Large wick candles make less of the body of the candle and more of the wick. But what do we do with this knowledge? We use this to engage with price onto the low time frames, that how is the high time frame candle forming. Basically that's how we wanna align. मेरी रिकॉर्ड ऑडियो रिकॉर्ड हो रही है? यस, डेस्कटॉप ऑडियो इसमें होती है नहीं? अच्छा है. Okay, so expansion candle, small opposing wick or opposing run, small opposing wick which sports making a for a larger body of the candle, sports expansion away from the low of the candle. Now large wick candles, large opposing run, large wick, large wick. You can even trade this. I do personally, yes, but there is specific rules. There are specific rules which I do follow with them both. Now expansion candles are the most ideal scenarios you want to be participating in, because you can then frame to even extreme objectives which you have in terms of price, because expansion candles allow for expansion away from the low of the candle, making a larger body of the candle when it has less of an wick, and so expands much away and towards the objective with much easily. But the candles with large wick don't go that much far away from the candles open, just around candles opening price. This candle moves far away from the opening price, so we can easily trade this. This is also tradable, but you have to follow certain rules. I will talk about them and show some examples. When a candle has large opposing wick, you don't want to necessarily frame that, but if you want to, I do, only when I have a clear understanding of which side I want to frame. I have a clear and obvious direction in my mind, and I have conviction with that. Like a candle forms open low, but I know I want to frame only bullish, and this is the obvious and the best objective for the day. Only then I will look to frame this candle with even with large opposing wick. But the ideal scenario is this being the objective, candle opening around about here, hitting the key level, then expanding away from the opening price of the candle. This is the ideal scenario. But even though if price forms a candle, high time frame candle with large opposing wick, but you can trade that, but you gotta have a clear conviction with your direction or clear understanding of which is the objective you are framing towards. Only then you wanna frame away from a key level. Obviously after it shows displacement, the must for any case scenario, displacement away from the relevant level or key level. Now in order to, expansion candles are simple. Just when the low is kind of established for a bullish candle and price displaces away from it, the thing we talked about in previous lesson, intermediate time frame profiling, when you can trust a low of the candle and price displaces away from it, you want to frame continuation legs to the objective, continuation legs to the objective, okay, that way. But The main thing, how do we participate in the candles with which have large wick? In order to trade the candle with large opposing or large wick, you gotta have proper conviction with the high time frame direction or objective, and you define your targets to obvious objectives, clear obvious objectives like these, resting around high time frame open. This is the opening price here. This is the opening price here. When price forms open low and starts to displace away after hitting a key level, you want to frame your positions and frame it to the objectives resting around this opening price, which like here, because when high time frame candles have large wick, they don't expand much away from the opening price, creating a less or less body as compared to the candles which have small wick. The candles which have small wick make more of an body, but the candles which have small wick make too less of a body as compared to the candles with less wick. So that's why you want to frame your positions to the objectives resting just around the opening price. And one thing, you want to see failure swing coming to your way, like you want to frame towards failure swing, clear low resistance liquidity. If you are getting it, I will show examples, but you gotta practice this over time. When you wanna frame a candle with large opposing run, you ideally wanna see open low first and not open high to then low, because this would be a candidate for OHLC. You would be fading your bias, fading the high time frame candles profile. This would be open high into a key level, and I sometimes can trade this if I have a clear objective resting above it. But the best scenario is open to forming a unestablished highs above, none of an established high formed above opening price, only low resistance failure swing resting above, open to low, then hits a key level, forms an established low, displaces away from it. Then you want to frame the continuation legs, just like you frame here. After the established low of the high time frame candle is formed and price displaces away from it, the same scenario here, but coming to the high time frame key level, when price is heading towards the high time frame key level, which will sponsor the move towards the draw. Price is forming large wick, obviously heading towards the key level, which will sponsor the move. But you wanna ideally wanna see failure swings being formed onto the way till this key level. You don't wanna see established highs being formed. Like you wanna see clear low resistance being engineered so it could be taken easily. Is this much clear? Obvious objectives resting around high time frame open. This is the high time frame open, opening price. Clear unestablished highs resting around high time frame opening price. So these would be objectives. But here, in this case, as the small wick sports expansion, you can frame much away from the opening price to the extreme objective as well. Is this slide clear? Or if you have any doubts, you can ask. पसीना क्यों आ रहा है मेरे को? इतनी भी कब गर्मी हुई भाई? Okay, so should I move on to the examples? Okay, let's go. As you can see, which type of candle is this? Clearly an expansion candle. Less wick to the upside. We went over bullish expansion candle. This is a bearish expansion candle. See, less wick to the upside, open small opposing line, and so forms a large body, and so expands away from the opening price. Now, how would you profile this? Using intermediate time frame profiling, just like this. Let's get into that. This day, let me turn this off. This day, open high, small opposing wick, and established highs being formed above opening price. See, open high. This is the new day opening. Open established high being formed above price, displacing away from it. So then framing towards failure swings to the objective. This example was a clear one. Established high being formed above opening price, failure swing resting along with the objective, and small opposing wick this much open to high, this much small. See, you got a zoom in for that. Small opposing wick sports much of an expansion away from opposing opening price, so you can easily participate till the max objective as well. This example was clear. Bearish expansion candle. सही। ये ओके का मतलब क्लियर समझोगे मैं? अच्छा ओके पहले लिखा था। तो वो तो ठीक है पहले। आई वुड नीड टू पोस्ट दिस एज वेल। कासिम भाई रोज लेट हो जाते हो आप। Expansion I should uh, now first example being bearish expansion candle. Can I not make this candle a bit bigger? Yes, I can. Small opposing wick, the sports expansion, established high, over opening price, above opening price. Okay. Goodbye, if you remember that day, I was bearish even before opening of that day. Highs being rejected, right? Because this move higher, I was desperately wanting this move higher to be a retracement. This objective being a retracement objective being rejected. So this being the objective, this move higher, I was wanting it to be retracement because I had a clear objective resting below. Okay, so not, let's not get distracted. Bearish expansion candle example one. Okay, so let's get into the next example. This example was clear. कहाँ गया भाई? Nope. So is this thing clear? यार आप पहले ही बोल देते हो आप. So let's get into the next example. It would be this. Yes, framing from the daily. Just a second. Okay, daily. Yes. Now good. 20 to 29, 37. Yes, we can. So now let's move on to another example. One more expansion candle, and then we will cover large wick candles. You can use this, you can use this, any. This being an expansion candle to the objective, this being an expansion candle to this objective, this was already hit. You can frame this kind of true breakout, kind of not real true breakout. in real sense, I did personally frame this as well. That's why this was my objective. First this, then this. Lacking manipulation below relevant swings, so forming true breakout. Then I was framing towards these, ultimately this. So, so which one you want to be covered? This, or this? All three are expansion candles, bearish expansion candles. Or if you want, I can give a bullish expansion candles example as well. Which one? Bullish or again bearish? मेरे को notification क्यों नहीं बजती है? You can then try, please try to plan and keep that. Bro, what do I say about that? Not in that state that I can even take a session in like take one session in 10 days, but still anyhow making it to like 3 4 sessions per 10 days. But yes, when something is done for free, people take it for granted, my brother. No worries, you made me remind that I gotta remove some of them. Nice. But Dishant bhai, I won't say worst condition, but not in the best condition mentally, physically, or health wise. But still, anyhow, making it to the sessions. Otherwise, if anyone would have been in my place, not even one session would have been conducted. So, making it to the sessions anyhow, rather than delaying or avoiding the sessions totally. Earlier in the mentorship, the sessions were totally planned and informed about. So, and now should I give an example of bullish expansion candle or again bearish expansion candle of any three of these? Uh, it's 50 plus, Zishan brother. Earlier, when the mentorship started, every session was prepared and informed about us, Kasim bhai, but then I got ill or ill to a next severe extent. I won't can't express, but I have started the mentorship. I have taken the majors, but so gotta do my job anyhow. So I will then cover bearish because nobody is wanting bullish expansion candles. So and this one, let's have a look. Frame can frame this one, can frame this one, can frame this one. Nice. Wednesday. Oh, it shall say okay. Yes. Bearish expansion candle towards the objective. I did frame this as well. I get your point, mate. No worries. I will try my best. Bearish expansion candle will establish example 2. Now filing it onto the lower time frame. Wednesday OHLC. Small wick to the upside, right? And so expands to the max or extreme objective, you can say. And while forming an established high, open high, sweeping out current high of the day, and displacing away from it. So any opposing move without the objective being hit would be a retracement, leaving failure swings onto the way of objective. So best scenario. So any opposing run without the objectives being hit would be retracement. I did frame this 11 expansion away from this internal level. Why? This move being an retracement, and so retracement's objective internal level. I won't go that much deep into it now. Small opposing wick, and so price expands much away from the opening price, and you then frame it to the extreme objective, the max target. Now comes the turn for candles with large wick. Now I don't exactly remember the dates. 10 Jan 23, 10 August 23, 10 August, 3 Jan. There were many candles with large wick, but I wanted to show you guys the best example. That's why 3 August 23 and 10 August 23. This one. Large wick to the upside, right? This candle. OHLC type candle. This bearish large wick candle at open too much high. How do you frame this? Going back to this was bullish large wick candle, but when you wanna frame this, you wanna see unestablished highs, price heading towards key level while forming unestablished or low resistance. When price is heading towards the key level to sponsor the move, or sponsor the real move, vice versa for bearish candle. Price forming unestablished highs. इधर से लेफ्ट करना ठीक है. हाँ ठीक. Price forming unestablished lows while heading towards the relevant key level to sponsor the move lower, sponsor the high of the candle. This no, previous day high. Price immediately displacing away from this. You can tell yourself this is the relevant key level, and no established low of the day, no established lows, all failure swings, right? All these. So you wanna see these in your way to when price is heading towards the key level to sponsor the real move, real direction of the candle. But one thing you can see, open too much of an high, so then you refine your targets around the opening price of the candle because you are fading the whole candle is forming. See, this candle looks full bullish, right? You are fading the direction, so you need proper framework. When this candle was here, this looked full bullish, right? So you need proper framework. Failure swings, no established low, proper key level, displacement away from it. So then you can think of this as a large wick bearish candle. So you would then frame your targets, refine your targets around the opening price, current low of the day, or you can frame towards these failure swings if you want. But the current low of the day would have been the best or max objective for me. Too much or enough, you can say, most of the daily range. And see price not being able to form much of a body here, and yes, it reaches there as well, but can't expand much more away from the opening price. So you mainly frame till opening price. I will remove this, remove these, this as well, and closes around the opening price. And here comes the next day. See, can't displace much away from the opening price, so that's why you try to frame your targets, frame or refine your targets around the opening price, or you can frame till here, resting around clear objectives, clear and obvious objectives, obvious various things, resting in close proximity to the opening price, daily opening price. Else, if you wanted to frame somewhere like here, proper max objective, nope. This candle is not supported to form much large, often bearish body. Why? Too large of a wick. If the opening price would have been here, then it could have made sense. Just like small opposing wick and it forms large body. Large opposing wick, so it would form less of a body. This was the max it made run below opening price because of the large wick. See, the candles which have less wick compared to this candle formed much more of a candle body. This formed its body till here, then came all the way back up. This candle, if I replay, see, small wick, so forms much of a body. This candle being small wick, so forms less body. So this example clears this framework much better, in a much better way, I guess. That's why I properly tried to frame one, or like wanted to give one two best examples which would make clear sense to you guys. I know personally how to frame, but it would have been the first time for you people. You would get comfortable watching these kinds of days, but I wanted to give the best example which I could, so that's why I went back 2 years in of price action. 2 years. Did you guys understand this? So not this. This. How do you frame candles with large wicks. Framing candles with small opposing wick is easy. People fear framing candles with large wick. You gotta have a clear protocol for everything, then you don't fear anything. Tell me, you people have a clear protocol or not for each and everything. Okay, retracement is the phase. You know what to look for, where to look for. Reversal is the phase. You know what to look for, where to look for, when to look for, how much displacement. Consolidation is the phase. You know either manipulation, either true breakout, and you know expansion happens after that. So you won't be in like miss. I don't have the right word for it. You will have much clarity over it, I will say. So when you have the proper specific protocol for each and everything, not each and everything, but most of the things which you are or you will be using, then you have more of a clarity and less of a doubt, and you will start to trust your system more, and hence better execution of the system, and hence better results. Session is lagging only to you or to everyone? You can on to है sir, not to me. Ha, slow net up. All good. Two people voting for all good. You बदतमीज. Slow internet up. आपका नेट खराब है सर. 5000. ओके, रिकॉर्डिंग देख लेना यार, आपने वैसे भी आधा मिस कर दिया. ओके, so this example was clear. Yes. Okay. Failure swings onto the way till price reaches the relevant level which would sponsor the high or low of the day, and you don't pick this, you don't try to pick this. You wanna see displacement away, be it any time frame, be it any expansion candle or large wick candle. You wanna see displacement, be it any phase, be it any relevant level, be it the strongest key level. You only trust a high or low, you only trust a key level, you only trust a relevant level when price tags it and shows displacement away from it. You then look to frame continuation because you have the framework. Yes, price is rejecting this, showing displacement away from it. So OHLC should be the right thing to do, or the most probable narrative is like framing cells, and so I should frame continuation cells. So that's why displacement away from any key level, world's best key level, world's best PDRA, is the first step. Give me world's best PDRA, I don't trust it until I see displacement away from it. Because I don't necessarily know every day which would be the key level to sponsor the high of the day or low of the day. It is my daily profiling, intermediate time frame profiling, and my understanding of phases, and then I wanna see displacement away from some specific relevant swings. I do get wrong as well, but the chances of being wrong get reduced to very less. And most of the time that losses are valid losses to me, part of my edge, and so I don't need to worry. And open high into key level, no established low below low of opening price displacing away from the relevant key level. So you frame OHLC to the objectives, reducing targets around opening price because large wick, so less targets. Should I post the daily chart as well in this example, or the hourly chart with the daily indicator is enough? So टाइम कितना हुआ? 11 बज के यार. I have to do it quicker. Bullish, bullish. So, okay, so next example was 3 Jan 2023. 3 Jan. See, I was going on to the low time frames on these candles as well, finding the best candle which you people would understand easily. This is a candle with large wick, this is a candle with large wick, this is a candle with large wick, but you won't be able to understand the low time frames as much easily because it would be your first time, second time using it. But I am used to it, so I can. This is a candle with large wick, this is a candle. So I wanted to give you guys a better or easy one. 6 Jan है कौन सा दिन? 3 Jan, wrong date I guess. 3 Jan 2024, how is it? It could be 12 Jan or 30 December. Let us have a look. This is also good, but not the best example. Then which one? This could be the one. I could be able to frame this. You people would get confused. Uh, Next, this kind of, yes. Okay, yes. Let me post it first, then I will explain. We dotted Friday. First example for a bullish case. Nice. Oh, let's see. Candle with large wick. So targeting around daily open, previous day high being an objective. Let me post this, then I will explain the lower time frame as well. Now going on to the lower time frames for daily candles profiling, intermediate time frame profiling, you use H4 and H1. I didn't use H1 necessarily because I wanted to show a better or clear perspective on the H1. If I were to use, I would immediately tell you guys failure swings resting around daily opening price, unestablished high price forming, manipulation below daily opening price, right? Established low below daily opening price, EQ of these opposing candles being respected, established low forming below daily open, unestablished high resting above, clear objectives resting higher. I could have shown you this, and this would have been a too nice of an example for intermediate time frame profiling on H4 for the daily candle. But I wanted to it I wanted to explain this to you people on the H1. Okay, now EQ of previous day's range being respected. EQ of previous day's range being respected. So you could still look to frame higher price displacing away from EQ of previous day's range. So I would not expect this low to get taken. So when price displaces away from EQ of previous day's range and respecting H4's mean threshold, or forget about that, no established highs over high of the day, instead failure swing and clear objective resting above, but large daily wick, large wick for the candle. So you would then frame or refine your targets around daily open, clear objectives around daily open, failure swings resting around the objective. So no established high price forming failure swings while heading towards the relevant key level, showing display. I will do it here. Price forming open low, leaving failure swings forming low resistance while heading towards the relevant key level. No proper key level on the H1, it would have been on M15, but the EQ of previous day's range being the enough of the key level, you can say, being the level to sponsor the move higher. This EQ of previous day's range being respected, price showing displacement away from it, you can then frame towards these unprotected, unestablished high, assuming this is the low of the day, EQ of previous day's range being respected, and targets around daily open, clear, obvious objectives resting around daily open, because price won't be able to form much large of a body as it would form on a day with small opposing wick. So it would form a less of a body with large wick. So a good of an example, and that would conclude the session. If you guys have any doubts, you can ask. Okay, we got saved. So any doubts, or we would wrap up the session here? How was the session? Did you guys understood it? Okay, it would have been a first or second session for you, Zishan brother. How was it? H1 is good, but I was making people remind of the first lesson about candlesticks, OHLC, OLHC, intermediate time frame profiling. The H4 was too good of an example to use for intermediate time frame profiling for the daily candle. That's why when I got the opportunity, I took the advantage of it. And I guess you would also be in here like for first or second time. I can't read your full name. How was the session to you as well? Not able to read the name from here as well. My teachings are similar to AM because I view AM as my mentor pronounce it anyway. AM is my mentor basically, not directly, indirectly you can say, because I learned most of my things from him, then refined those things according to myself. Yes. Okay, so I would wrap up the session here. I guess so, no doubts. Okay. Meet you till the next time. Bye bye.